Hey, everybody. Welcome to Let's Be Blunt, a podcast about living and loving everything Blount County, Tennessee.
We're your hosts, Brad Hepner and Eric Rice, the property dads at LeConte Realty, and we're excited to talk more about this great place we call home.
Well, we talk a lot about on this program BC and AC, before COVID and after COVID.
Oh, that's funny.
And so I think we'll get into that a little bit. But before we do, we're going to ask you some other questions.
Absolutely.
But people in this entire community sort of changed. People and the things in this community changed after COVID.
Correct.
And so there was a way of doing things before, and then there has been it changed into the way of doing things after. And now you, after having walked away, AC,
Right.
from an 18-year career in restaurant management.
That's right. With one company.
And now a full-time painter.
Yep. This is my 6th year full-time
So
watercolor.
it would be a good time for us to introduce our guest, the very talented artist, Chuck Finley. Thanks for joining us. And,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Studio audience. Yeah, it's packed out there.
It's packed.
Boy.
Usually we reserve them for just us, but...
Well, I guess, did I get that right? I mean, was it a COVID-driven decision?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that transition, and then we'll go back, because we always like to go back.
We did.
So I was, when we all got sent home, I was working on, I was doing pet portraits on the side as a restaurant manager.
Okay.
I was doing pet portraits on the side, just, extra money. And
That's an unusual side gig for a restaurant manager, I think.
Yeah. It was pretty, it was fun. And I could do it, I can do a painting in my lap. So it was a nice way to kind of unwind.
Yeah.
But I was doing a pet portrait for a realtor, and she asked if I could paint a house. And I was like, probably, I've never done that. And she was very patient and said, take your time. And I asked why, and she said she wanted to give it as a closing gift. And I mean, as soon as she said that, the light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a realistic way to transition, into full-time art.
And honestly, probably, at least around here, not a better time to do it.
Correct.
When after COVID, the
Everybody's
rush of
moving
people
here.
started moving in, and
Yeah. But I'd never
That's
done
exciting.
watercolor before COVID. So I was using markers. They were nice markers, but I was using, and they were professional grade, but I was using markers to do pet portraits. And I was working on one, and I realized, it takes a long time to cover a large sheet of paper with a little marker. And my son's beginner's watercolor kit was sitting right next to my art table, and I thought, let's see what we can get into. I could cover a lot more space with a brush than a marker. And now I'm doing it full time.
Okay.
Incredible.
That great. What I want to know, obviously the podcast is Let's Be Blunt. So that's Chuck Finley, the professional artist.
Mm-hmm.
We will also want to know about Chuck Finley before that. Tell us your background, how you ended up in Blount County. I mean, your life.
Born and raised.
Born and raised. So went to high school where?
William Blount. Yeah. And for a while I wanted, to move out west, and now I'm glad that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The older I get, the more I love it here.
Did you paint as a kid? I mean, were you an artist?
I've
as a
always
kid?
drawn,
Okay.
but all children draw. Some just never stop. So.
Yeah.
So I've always drawn, and honestly, like I drew portraits and figure work. I never imagined doing architecture, not in a million years. I enjoy drawing people, but not as a financial pursuit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If I'm going to draw a portrait now, it's just something I do for me.
So what, did you take art classes in high school?
No, my mom used to draw for my brother and I in church to kind of, when we were real little, to keep us entertained. She would draw on those bulletins.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my mom was probably my first, influence. And then I have a twin brother. And when we were in like 6th or 7th grade, he did a drawing out of a how to draw book. And,
I remember
and
those.
really what it takes is, when you see someone your age do something that you thought was out of your reach, then you realize it's within your reach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look and you're like, well, that's my brother. If he can do it, I can do it. And it was an amazing drawing, but I was just like, well, that's my twin brother. I mean, so he was probably my second. Like, he was like, watching him do that, you know, in 6th, 7th grade really kicked it into high gear. I was like, oh, so you can do that. And so I just really just leaned into it.
Very cool. So what was it like for you growing up in Blount County? Why'd you stay? You said you wanted to go out west.
So, well, when I realized I was going to be a father, I was like, well, probably Colorado to go snowboarding and live in a, you know, a little hole. Probably not going to be the thing now.
Wasn't going to float. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I've been out to Colorado probably a dozen times, and I'd like to go back. I'd like to take him, but I mean, there's hardly a better place, I think, to raise a kid than right here.
We agree.
We agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
So you graduated from William Blount, and then did you go straight into the restaurant business?
No, I've worked in a lot of factories. So
how'd you get into the restaurant business?
So I decided I was at Denso, and I left Denso and decided, you know what, I'm going to go to college. But it was so spur of the moment. I had time and money for one class. So I took Drawing 101, and I got back into a restaurant, which I'd never been serious in a restaurant, but I went to work for a restaurant locally. And while I was pursuing an art degree, which I only ended up taking that one Drawing 101 class.
Yeah.
They offered me a position. After a few months, they offered me a position as a manager, which I had done before. And I just never left after that. So, and I loved restaurant management. It's a fun job. You're always moving. And if you're good at it, it's like being the leader of an orchestra, right? Because you have to help out a little bit with the host. You know, occasionally you may have to help the cooks a bit, but you're balancing all these different aspects of the business at one time. It's a fun job, but I didn't really get to see my son very much. After he was born, it ruined restaurant like management as an idea for a career.
It's a tough job on a family. The
like
late nights,
and weekends both.
Yeah.
Right?
Weekends were atrocious. Yeah. So I mean, on average, I got to see my son like 2 or 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So, but you know,
You do what you have to do, obviously.
yeah, but yeah, God gave me an out.
Have you been watching The Bear? Do you watch The Bear?
You know, I've heard I should watch it.
You got to.
Yeah, I've heard I should watch it.
It would. I think you would enjoy it because there's this. This element, of course, the restaurant element, but there's also this element of, and it's all about the relationships, not necessarily about these things, but there is this
restaurant work is about relationships.
It is, 100% is, but there's also this like artistic outlet, doing what you love, element to it as well, and anyway.
I need to see it. Everybody says that I need to see it, but I guess I've just not been chomping at the bit to consume more restaurant stuff.
Well, okay, fair.
But it's interesting that, hey, I get that too.
Yeah.
That your intention, even though it was one class, that art love was there. And I'm impressed that, because I think a lot of us have something that we would really love to do.
Right.
And then we end up getting a career in something else and you go off into it, but nobody ever really goes back to it. You had the chance to.
Well, yeah, it's, I don't know if I've ever thought about it like that, but yeah, you're right. You know, I wanted to do art and ended up in restaurants and then got out through art. Yeah. But what I was wanting to do was graphic design. The truth is I tend to do better if I'm kind of directed, which is why I enjoy taking commissions. All of these.
We haven't even mentioned that. Again, a lot of people still listen to it, just the audio portion, but I encouraged people, like, there's a reason to go see the video, and this is it today. The thing behind us is a Chuck Finley.
I'd forgotten about it until until I look back. But so all these start out as commissions. So it's like, I would argue that I'm not particularly creative. as far as like imagination wise, but a lot of traditional artists, they work from life. So
interesting.
We've only ever done one other podcast in this location.
That's true. It was audio only.
Yeah. The reason we came here though today, obviously, is
the mural.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, but we interrupted you. So continue.
Where was I?
We were talking about. You said you took these.
So originally I started I wanted to go into graphic design because doing your art for a living is it's a bit naive, right? It's an incredibly hard way to go because the thing is you have to find an audience. Like making the art is not particularly hard, and not to say, I'm not trying to
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. But finding your audience is the hard part. But the truth is, and in this day and age, finding your audience has never been easier. But standing out has never been harder.
Because there's never been more people trying.
Correct. Yeah.
Or at least
and there's never been an easier way to get an audience.
Right.
Yeah. Social media, I guess, is what.
Correct. Yeah.
Everybody sees everybody's doing
Touche.
everything.
Yeah. But the thing is, the way you make it is you just continue to produce work. And occasionally somebody will say something about my work and I'll say, well, it may not be good, but there's a lot of it. and that's and what I mean by that is, like, the more work you produce, the more you get out there, the more you're seen, then people buy into you regardless of most of the paintings that I do, I look at and I'm like, ugh. that didn't work out at all.
I think we can relate.
Yes,
on the podcast level.
When you listen back,
because
that's a good.
point. We've had this is our 70th episode, I think.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
And we look back and go 70. That's a lot. And you look at a lot of podcasts; they don't get past just a few.
Right.
And we've been doing this for more than 3 years and 70 episodes, and
that's awesome.
And not all of them have been great.
Right. Yeah, like you go back and you listen to the early ones, I would imagine it's like when I look at some of my early paintings and I go, ooh, yeah, I'm glad they liked it.
Yeah. Or no one listened, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Related to that, the story that I tell is my passion is I love doing home improvement projects.
Right.
The very first one I did, we bought a house right after we were married. It had one bathroom, no shower. So we put the shower in. I mean, just a bathtub. So we put the shower in, and I remember telling my new wife that I think I could tile this. And she's like, you can't. I was like, no, I think I can. And I did. And in looking back, it's terrible.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But it worked.
I bet you were proud of it when you did it, though, right?
And it worked, but it's that, it's like,
and then you gain skill, and then you go back and you look at your early work and you're like, oh.
So I can see how you, you probably look at the early ones and you're like,
cringe.
But it still had to, so you've developed all these skills over the years and you've refined, some things, sort of found your audience. But the first few months, maybe years, I don't know, must have been a little scary to say, I'm stepping away from this and into my artwork.
I got to tell you, I jumped in it with the kind of unbridled naivety that only a fool has. There's is it Orson Welles that said that ignorance, no confidence beats sheer ignorance. But also, I prayed about it a lot. Yeah. And, growing up, people were like, well, that's a God-given talent. And I'm like, maybe. I don't know how drawing serves God, but I can be present as a father. Mm-hmm. And that is something God wants parents to do, is be present. And it was a way to make my own schedule and to I get to take him to school every morning. I get to pick him up. I get to put him to bed every night. And which he's 13. I'm not putting him to bed now. But I'm still, we still spend a lot of time together. Yeah. And until he gets,
that's important time.
Until he gets over it, gets to that age where he doesn't want to hang out with daddy no more, then I can go make all the money in the world. And I think I'll still be doing this, just applying myself more to it. So, cause I enjoy it, like when it works. and you can't be happy with all of them. That's just not realistic,
Right.
you know. And I enjoy applying my creativity, like the playing cards or things like that. It's a hoot.
Pick a card.
Hard to see this.
Yeah,
It's hard to see this even on the video. But when he walked in, he said, "Pick a card." It looks like a big playing card. On the other side is a smaller version of that building right there. Yeah. So that's kind of clever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And when you come up with a new idea, it's like, oh, this is we like the peanut butter and jelly, you know, on my work shirt. You know?
I love it. Yeah. How has, well, we talk about this a lot, and I think every guest has had a pretty unique answer, but all of them have been similar in some way. But I want to know your perspective. How has Blount County supported you in that transition, in your artwork and getting started and all
that's
of that
been, that's been an absolute blessing. My first art show, which I would have argued I wasn't ready for, and I did argue that I wasn't ready for it, but there was a gentleman who just kept pushing me, and he wouldn't take no for an answer, and he had a venue. And so I was like, fine, yeah, I'll do it. And then he started pressuring me for a date, and I'm like, he's not going to give up. So we did the art show. I had over 100 people show up.
Wow.
Now,
So the show was just you?
yeah, it was a solo art show. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was, wow. It was just like and like, even when I thought about doing art for a living, it wasn't really me showing art. I wanted to do commercial design graphics, you know, so that it's like you come up with a label for a new product, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Find a way to be creative, but do it in such a way that it's a reasonable way to make money, because you know, being the starving artist is not fun.
Yeah.
It's real. And the truth is, it's like, so I started doing like that first art show was my work, but it was really supported by, you know, doing those home portraits. And that was my audience, was I would go to different realty, you know, brokerages. Yeah. And then, you know, pitch it.
Yeah.
So it was a way to realistically find work.
Well, that's how, I don't know if we met actually, because one of our colleagues here at LeConte said, "Hey, you know what you should do? Check with Chuck Finley. He does these home portraits that are amazing."
I have a guess who that may have been.
Go ahead.
Was it Mackenzie?
It was Liz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Liz, I mean,
I've got one that I'm working on today for her.
Yeah.
That's so
really?
funny. Yeah.
Liz, I mean, and she always gave me good ideas for gift giving for clients. Because I'm terrible at, I don't have that creative gift giving mind, whatever.
Right.
And she said, "What about this?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds amazing." And so I've started following your art a little bit, and you know, so I've seen you go from that to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, Main Streets.
Yeah.
The still life food items.
Okay.
Food items. That makes it sound really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
As opposed to animated food items.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the Main Street, you say, I have several questions that have built up. When you left 6 years ago to pursue this, was it house portraits? Is that pretty much where you were going?
Yeah. I just wanted to go into different brokers and brokerages and say, "Hey, this is me. This is what I do." And I had like a pitch deck, and I had, you know, so that was and I was actively, you know, chasing and pitching realtors. And then I did the first Main Street series just as like a one-off for a show, and just people went bonkers.
Was it Maryville Main Street?
It was Maryville, yeah.
So
not as the organization, but just I did the original paintings, which were Bella, Capitol, Palace Theater, and then I can't remember what the other one was. But I did those first, you know, 3 or 4, and a bank down the road bought most of them because they wanted to give them to the clients that they were, you know, working with.
Sure.
So then as I continued to do these paintings, I was invited to a network meeting over in Lenore City. And so I pitched to them, and they were all about it. So that was when the idea came to go to a Main Street and pitch to the Main Street, so that I'm one check buys all the work.
Right.
So, and that's what's made, it less of a, well, I've not pitched to a realtor in 3 or 4 years, but I've done over 1,000.
I was going to say you
done over 1,000
you don't have to
home
pitch
portraits.
anymore. Right.
Right.
1,000, wow.
Yeah.
So then what else? You mentioned food.
Right.
How did you get into that? Is there anything else other than the two you mentioned?
Yeah. So when I first started doing it, like as an idea, as a career, it was never, I told myself, I'm like, look, don't worry about art critics. Find a way to sell art. Right. So I was never really worried about like fine art, so to speak, but you do this long enough and all of a sudden you have this yearning to create something that's, more universal. And so one morning I got up and there's this one artist that, I have, several artists that I admire and study. And she does a lot of still life foods and beach scenes. It's kind of like her two, niches. And so I got up before my son got up for school one morning, and I took a scrap piece of paper and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go for this. And I painted a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This one, yeah. And I didn't even do a drawing. It was pure pigment and water. And I knocked it out in time to take him to school. And I got back from taking him to school and I look at it and I'm like, oh my, I did it. Wow. It was an expression of just pure watercolor. Yeah. And so that, become something else that I'm, really passionate about. Not just painting food, but but on a large degree, a large level, also painting food is fun.
Well, I would imagine
you can find such vibrant colors,
and food doesn't move around. It's not like you have to, can you please hold still?
That's right. Yeah, be like, don't sneeze. Taco. Right.
It's like tying your career of 18 years back into your art. Food's what you knew, art's what you knew. Now you're doing both.
Now I'm doing both. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah. But it was, but I posted that peanut butter and jelly and several people, offered to buy it, and I just won't sell that one because it was a breakthrough. But then I painted a hot dog and that thing sold in like 5 days, and that never happens online. I've got like one of my favorite paintings is two of my favorite paintings are these farm paintings that I was like, I look back at them and I'm like, yeah, I did that. Yeah. But they've been sitting in the gallery for 6-7 months a year, and the hot dog sold in 5 days. I painted a taco, it sold in 2 days. I was like, what is happening?
Is it individuals or is it business that
individuals? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then, but they're fun, and it's a way for me to express myself. Like I said, I like taking commissions to give me direction, but like portraits and still lifes are something that I do because it gives me a chance to kind of explore the medium in a way that isn't as. And when I say safe, if you're doing a home portrait for somebody, there's a margin of error there. If you're doing something for yourself, you can do whatever you want. Right. So it's just pure freedom.
You worked with some other artists. You mentioned this on a mural downtown, a collaboration.
Pinky and Will Lunsford.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit, because I've worked with in a previous job, I worked with some artists, and they weren't always they were very protective of their own work and their thing. And they weren't necessarily very collaborative.
That's not uncommon.
Okay, so talk about how that experience and maybe artists in general, how it differed.
So Pinky and Will invited me to be a part of that, and thank you so much. To this day,
I'm sure they're
so
listening and watching.
Oh yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Who's not?
But that was. I was honored, but I was also, on a level terrified because I'd never done anything quite like that. Actually, I'd done one mural inside my son's tree house, which I was like, that worked out pretty well. Yeah. But to do one for public display, but I knew that I had Pinky on my left side and Will on my right side. So it's like I was supported by two incredible, and their work is absolutely incredible. a big fan of everything that they do. But yeah, they invited me to be a part of it. And so, and what's funny is my studio is on Church Street. So I cross over Broadway and, I forget that it's there. And then every now and then I'll go, oh yeah,
that's right. I did that.
Yeah.
That must feel pretty good, right? It's just especially seeing people enjoy and appreciate your art.
Occasionally I'll see people taking pictures in front, but they're usually taking pictures in front of, Will or Pinky's, but
maybe they just want to be able to see.
But you know what?
Block it.
I'm sneaking in there, so I'm getting my work. Yeah, but it's a hoot. It's super cool. It's weird the two. I remember the first time somebody, like heard me talking, and they're like, "Are you Chuck Finley, the artist?" I was like, yeah, that's weird.
I guess I am.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Chuck Finley, the artist.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I follow you on Instagram. And I'm like, okay, that's not
also weird.
Not what I expected to, because everybody's known me around here from, being a restaurant manager, because I was very, hospitality was my strongest suit in the restaurant business, just making people feel welcome and part of the restaurant. And that's, such a thing that's missing in a lot of, hospitality spaces is actual hospitality. So I always enjoyed that. But being known for a restaurant manager does not feel weird. Recognizing everybody at the coffee shop, not weird. Somebody going, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram."
Weird.
And a little weird, not in a bad way. Just
Yeah.
Because
if you run into
locally famous is what, like my son's like, "Dad, are you famous?" And I was like, locally famous. Trust me, there's a big difference. I'm not really famous. It just seems like it. But I've lived here my whole life also. So,
people know who you are.
Touche.
Now they just know you as the artist.
Correct.
Formerly known as Chuck Finley.
That's
So you referenced it a little bit ago. The last couple of guests we've had, we've asked them a similar question to this. And you said your favorite, like you said, you'll never sell the peanut butter and jelly.
correct. Yeah.
The farm ones, like, do you have a favorite that you've done?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a couple of favorites, I guess.
Like paintings.
Yeah.
So the peanut butter and jelly. Yes. The taco painting that I did, I am awfully happy with that one. But farms are my favorite thing to paint, but nobody's lining up. And I'm sure there are artists that have an audience that buys a lot of farm paintings. I've not found my audience yet. And maybe it's out there, and I'm okay regardless, because I'm getting to, pay bills doing what I'm doing. And, if the farms are a thing that I paint and I can do it at my convenience and it's for me, then that's fine. But it wouldn't hurt my feelings if people started to appreciate them more. So.
Yeah. Because I guess my follow-up question to your favorite one, especially in reference to this peanut butter and jelly sandwich, is, could you sell it? Would it not hurt to, like,
the peanut butter and jelly?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, the farms?
If somebody bought something,
I've sold some landscapes that, like,
you miss it when it's gone.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah,
one specifically that just, if I could buy it back, I would probably buy it back. Yeah, there's one of them that if I could buy it back, I would 100% buy it back. But it's gone. And you know what? You can't be too. You can't really hang on to these things too much, or you don't make money. So.
What is but there are prints. I mean, you do have prints of certain things.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it's the original. That's where the feeling is, right? That's where when you sell the original.
The one that I if I could buy it back, I did it in New York. I was in New York as part of a workshop, and I mean, it was one of those, like, where you did this thing and you're like, well, I didn't think I was capable of that.
Yeah.
And I've not produced anything quite like it since then. I've also not swung for the fences the way that I did in that one. So there is that, but
how cool would it have been if we would have just said, well, hold on just a minute.
We knew and we bought this for you. Yeah, that would be
I would have loved that.
Yeah, that would
unfortunately.
be amazing. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So did somebody buy it in New York?
No, somebody bought it, like so I did that in November and sold it in November. Yeah.
Just this past November.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And the truth is, like a lot of times, it's hard to swing for the fences because I'm doing commissions, and it's really about, like I said at the very beginning, I'm not painting for art critics. I'm just trying to, provide for myself and my son, and still be present with him as a father. So, every now and then I still get to sit down and do something and go, yeah. But most of the time, I'm just trying to, if I'm not working on a painting, I'm looking for an opportunity, for a commission. So, and a lot of artists don't want to do commissions. And that's one of the things that if I've been successful, it's because I'm happy to paint what you want to see, Now, I
get that,
generally let people tell me how to do the painting. And the truth is that almost never happens. Most people, they buy into the work itself. So I have a style, and that's what people want to see.
Mm-hmm. So when you say the one in New York, you swung for the fences, how would you just, what does that mean?
Well, so made, like bold choices on the paper, mixing the pigments, brush strokes, things like that, that creates something that's like generally more dynamic. But if it goes wrong, your painting's ruined. So that's how you swing for the fences, is like, I'm going to go for this brush stroke that's going to be a fine line all the way across it, right, to do a power line. And if you mess it up, then you've got a wobbly thing. In watercolor, you don't correct that. You start over. So, swinging for the fences is going, I'm going to reach for a style of painting that requires more creativity. It requires, bolder choices. And as opposed to, a lot of things that I do, which are they're called line and wash. So a lot of the strength of the, how it speaks to the audience is in the pen, the lines that I put down with an ink pen. And then I do soft washes over the top of that. That's a very safe way to make a painting. And those are also, I'm a big fan of a lot of, line and wash work. But what I truly love is more impressionistic things and, like colors blending on the paper. Watercolor is different than any other medium because it's still creating itself once you put those pigments on the paper, right? Yeah. Those colors are running into each other, and they're making shapes and lines and borders that go beyond what your hand does. And so in a way, it's easier to be artistic, with watercolor. It's easier to mess it up with watercolor.
You have to see what's going to happen before it happens.
You kind of have to have an idea. Yeah. So, which is why, it's practice is everything. You have to just again and again and again and again and again.
So watercolor is your medium?
Correct. I do not mess with anything other than watercolor because
no markers anymore.
No markers. Yeah. I still have a few of them, but I don't use them.
Have you been tempted, like charcoal, pencil?
So
how about oil? Oil seems to be a permanent mistake.
So no, man, oil you can infinitely correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same as acrylic, to my knowledge, acrylic. But so since I did that one mural, I've done a couple of other like mural pieces. I did. So the playing card, me and Will did another collaboration at Tri-Hop where we painted these wooden boards to look like the original idea I had was that we were going to do dogs playing cards.
Oh yeah.
But their dogs from the brewery and people around the brewery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But instead we did the dogs as playing cards. So the two dogs that I did were both females, so I made them queens.
Gotcha.
And so as I was working on that, I realized, man, acrylic is relaxing and watercolor is stressful. and I still enjoy watercolor, but until I really feel like I understand it like intimately and I have an idea that this is going to do what I want it to do, and I can create these, paintings that I aspire to. Until I can do that consistently and I know that it's going to work out with a certain degree of accuracy, I just really don't want to distract myself with any other medium.
Is it still fun? I say still. I mean, I'm assuming it was at one point, and hopefully it still is. Or does it become, hey, this is my job, and the fun part maybe is when you get to do a little bit of outside the.
Yeah. It is. I'm grateful that I get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
On a level, it becomes like a job, a little stressful. But when you're done with one and you look at it and you go, oh yeah, I'm really happy with that. But then, it's still fun. But what's funny is, like, one of my better paintings, I turned into a realtor and I said, I feel like this is really one of my best paintings. And he goes, really?
Thanks for that.
That's the answer.
And I was like,
that's the response you're looking for.
Well, yeah. I do. Right. Yeah. Which is just it's the eye of the beholder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine that, but I was reaching for something. And if you don't know the artist's intention,
sure.
and
It just, see what's
which
on the
can
page.
work in my favor too, because, I met an retired art teacher, and she said, if you're happy with 1 out of every 8 paintings that you do, that is you're on the right track as far as, being objective. If you're in love with everything, you'll never get better. If you hate everything, you'll probably just end up burning out and quitting.
Right.
So, and I was like, well, good. I'm right in that 1 and 8. And so I can handle that. So do I still love it? Yeah. When I get that 1 and 8, I'm like,
I can see that musicians and cooks or what, that's, they're creating, but it becomes, I mean, can you imagine being Taylor Swift and having to sing the same song that everybody loves over and over and hearing it?
She doesn't have to sing it anymore. It's just the band starts and everybody else.
I bet that's how it goes.
She hits the first note. And you guys finish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, so you've got some other things coming up, right? We had something to share. This is just a live look in.
Yeah, so this is actually on my website right now. I haven't leaned into
that's good luck
to getting orders yet, but this is a chicken painting that I did. It's an exercise that I do with my students actually. So, but I did this one painting of these 12 chickens, and then I thought, and I've wanted to put them on polos for a long time. And apparently the technology has just changed now to where you can order, 1 or, 10 as opposed to ordering yards and yards.
Yeah.
I've got another one, and it's the hot dog. And so it's just a hot dog, and
I'm sure it'll sell.
Yeah, I've had people already ask, and like I said, it's on the website. I just haven't really pushed into it because I'm trying to really figure out how to launch this thing, because ideally, get this into golf pro shops, and really push it. But because I have right off the top of my head, I would say probably 6 designs that I've already mocked up, and the taco polos are on the way. So,
sweet.
And so this is an actual, this is, because it's a nice quality shirt too. It's not
it's not,
I'd wear that.
Yeah. I'm awfully, well, it would be nice if this became the thing that paid me while I sleep.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But it, like anything else, you don't just put it out there and then all of a sudden, the world, beats a path to your door. You have to get out there and, like anything else, sell it.
There's a lot of those,
or find an investor that wants to take it, and then I just get a small cut. That would be that'd be the dream, where I'm just hands off, just sitting in my studio making little paintings, and I, not little paintings, but yeah, something that would, be beyond what I do, so I could just go into the studio and just relax without
And
having to feel like you're
are
chasing down deadlines for.
Are these currently available on your website?
Absolutely, yeah.
So since we lead into that, tell us about how to reach Chuck Finley, the artist.
CFinleyArt.com, yeah. And then, of course, Instagram, Facebook. I'm super active on those too.
Is it C Finley Art on those also, or is it Chuck Finley? I mean, I guess
it's everything is C Finley Art. Yeah, I wanted to
Okay.
make it easy enough to find, And if you Google C Finley Art, I think if you Google C Finley, it'll just take you right to my website. So, and the website's, constantly in a state of, work. But the polos, and again, the idea is to launch something that would kind of be like another concept. But I'll figure that out eventually. So it's summertime. It's really hard to do anything right now because my son's not in school, and I want to make sure that, he's 13, so he's kind of old enough to be by himself, but I'm not dumb enough to leave him by himself for a long time.
Get better for a few years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's like, you can leave me here and go to work, and I'm like, yeah, you want that? Yeah,
I could. If I'm asking you to. Then
yeah,
no.
right. Yeah. That ain't happening. Not even with the dog there. Yeah.
So, the website and social media is a small picture. Other than coming into the LeConte office to see this, are there other places around town? You said we talked about
Neighborly Books has always carried my stuff. They do a really great job, and they matter of fact, I've got a watercolor paint along book, and they keep that in stock, and so
That's cool.
And it's scenes around Maryville, and so
very cool.
It's the line drawing and instructions walks you through it.
You mentioned students a minute ago,
Yeah,
and that brought up the question: what students? What
I do private instruction at the studio.
your art studio?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite things is I've been working with RT Lodge to do this thing called Watercolor in the Woods.
I've heard of that.
That may be it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So
People come to paint with you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a package that they offer, and it's been very successful. We just wrapped up our fourth one. So folks will check in on Friday night, and then Saturday morning, we have breakfast, and then after breakfast, we go into their Morningside Lodge, and then pastries and mimosas and watercolor, and it is.
Sounds like
the next one that we're doing, if everything works out, the idea that I pitched to them, and they're agreeable on it. It's going to be very special. I'm so excited about it. I wish I could talk about it.
Stay tuned. Hey,
that's right. We will talk about it when we
teaser.
can.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish I could talk about it. It's super exciting.
Cool.
And then there's another. I'm in talks with another retailer about opening like a section inside of their retail shop that's going to be C Finley Art, and they want to produce, products for that would be unique to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm eager to see that, come to fruition. So, but until it does, it's just talk.
Yeah.
So
we got a lot of cool things though, potentially on the horizon. I mean, it's
yeah, I complain a lot because it is hard, man. Entrepreneurship, you don't clock out. When I was a restaurant manager, that restaurant could be on fire, and it'd be like, well, since I'm not there, it's not my.
That's right.
Yeah,
Not my problem.
Yeah, right. Not my chair, not my problem. But with entrepreneurship, it's hard to escape it, right? Your head's always thinking about a thing that you could have done that would have helped that situation or anyways. Yeah. But then you get things like RT Lodge and it's like, this is really cool. It's a really cool way to make a living.
It seems like and when we spoke with Pinky, she was, I think, very positive, complimentary. I'm not sure exactly the word, but about the way that Blount County supports artists.
Oh my goodness.
And it's growing.
Yes.
It's not, yeah.
Third Thursday has been awesome.
Yeah.
And Amanda Gluley put that together, and there's a lot of great artists in Maryville. I mean, a lot of great artists in Maryville. But, you were talking about how like some like less cooperative.
Right.
That is true, but most artists are very they want to see other artists succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Pinky's doing a great job, Will's doing a great job, and working with other artists, it just opens it opens your mind up to other ways of doing things. So, and some of that you can take back to your own work, and maybe you even dabble. I'm working on another one of those dog as a playing card right now, and it's very relaxing. So yeah, I dig it. This is a great town.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that this is one of the most, let's be blunt, be blunt.
That's right.
Blount County kid growing
way to
up,
say it.
living here, doing it all, making a name for and what's your son's name?
Archer.
Archer? He's famous.
That's right.
Locally famous.
Locally famous.
Yeah.
So, but it's great to see. I guess one question, like people that knew 9th grade Chuck Finley, if they came back and never knew anything about you and saw you now, would they be like, that's Chuck Finley? That's what he's doing? Or did they see the artist back then too?
Man, I was a loser in that.
I was too.
We were all losers in that.
My wife constantly says I was a loser in high school. I never met her till I was 28.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. I don't know. I did a lot of drawing in 6th, 7th, and all the way through high school. I wanted to go, like right out of high school, I wanted to go to college for graphic design, and it just didn't work out. So would they be surprised? I mean, gosh, I think it's surprising. Anytime an artist, makes it on, whatever level, it's, but you hear people go, well, I always, thought you could, with your art. And I'm like, did you?
You never told me that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you? And there's
never doubted you.
Right. And there's a couple that I'm like, you did. You always did. Yeah. But
who that's a good question. Who was that one person? Maybe the first person that bought a piece of art, or the one who encouraged you the most, besides Mom? Because
it was a restaurant manager that I worked with at Blue Tick. Yeah, okay. It was my GM over there. He's like, I always, and he said, you should do this, when I was there, he's like, you should do this for a living. I'm like, yeah, you have no idea what that means. I'm like, I don't think so. But, he was always very encouraging, and, he liked to lift people up, and, but yeah, he was one of them that yeah. And then, and since I've been doing this, I mean, I have, a couple of like realtors that have been with me from the very beginning, and still, like I said, I don't pitch that work out a whole lot, but I don't turn work down either. Yeah. By and large, I don't, it has to be something that, if somebody's like, hey, we do this portrait, I'll be like, I can find you an artist that will do that. Mm-hmm. That's not what I want to, do, for a living.
Yeah.
But not yet. So,
well, we always kind of end in this way. What haven't we talked about that we needed to? Did we miss anything?
We talked about the shirts.
We did talk about the shirts.
We talked about the shirts.
I like those I think those are going to go.
I'm wildly optimistic, but again, and naive.
Yeah, well,
I've got this foolish, yeah, man, who's not going to want one?
Who doesn't want it?
Yeah. I felt like there was something else. Oh, well, come see the gallery. A lot of people don't realize that I have this gallery over in Maryville, which is, basically the lobby of the studio.
And where is it? What's the address?
It's 200 East Broadway Avenue. Now the entrance is on Church Street, so it's the bottom floor of the Preservation Plaza building.
Yep.
To be fair, during summer, it's hard for me to make hours because I'm not going to try to drag my 13-year-old over there and expect him to entertain himself.
You can leave him by himself. He'll be fine.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what he says. But then, but like during the school year, like I'm usually in there from like 9:30 to 2:30. And if you can get the door open, come on in, because
cool.
It's if the lights are on, then I guess that'd probably be about it.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah,
That's
if
good.
I've forgotten anything, I love you guys.
Well, we'll
CFinleyart.com is where you can find the answer to it.
That's
Yeah,
a big
that's
thing.
right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just give you a call, I'm sure. Well, this has been I don't know. I'm always surprised at how interesting and how much I didn't know.
I agree.
You feel like you know everybody in town.
Right.
You feel like you know everything about everybody in town, but until you get to just sit down and talk to them and talk about what they love, you don't really.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And so
When I was a restaurant manager, I used to tell my servers, like everybody's got stories that you'll go, oh wow,
yeah.
like everybody has those stories. Yeah, but we're just so busy.
Well, thanks for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having
Chuck
me.
Finley.
This has been really cool. And then like doing an
That's
interview
right.
in front of this is wild.
Come,
This is cool.
hey, if you're thinking about buying or selling real estate, come see Brett and I. We'll be right in front of this mural anytime.
right.
208 West Harper's the best place to see Finley art. So
Yeah, come in here and close with them.
Come hang out.
Yeah.
that's right.
Anyway, Chuck, thanks.
Hey,
Thanks,
thank you very much. Yep.
Oh, I don't know. That was a new one for me.
Can you edit that out?
that?
No, we can do that.
No,
Okay.
let's not.
Thanks, Chuck. Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys.
Chuck Finley, artist extraordinaire.
And interesting guy extraordinaire. I mean, that was a great conversation. A lot of fun.
It was. I enjoyed it.
The before and after were just as.
That's what I was going to say. It's like we hung out for a while just talking about art and music and Instagram.
Yeah.
Look out for Eric's Instagram post, stepping it up.
Right. Well, I don't know. I'll probably
I appreciate your enthusiasm on that. Yeah.
By the time I start trying to figure it out, I'll have forgotten what he said. But I appreciate the lesson. So
Yeah, I mean, he's probably younger than me, but older than you would think somebody that would be imparting Instagram knowledge.
yeah. Well, we've run into that a couple of times in the recent past. So
Yeah.
no, but he was really interesting, and I mistakenly, I guess. I mean, he's making a living doing his art. I mean, that's his job, and so just like any other job, I would imagine there is some monotony and there is some, maybe not so fun parts about it or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like any job. I just think that in my mind, I think, oh, art, I have a creative side. I mean, I like to cook, whatever. And it's more fun until you have to do it every single night. And then you're like, ugh,
Yeah. You always hear people say, like, landscapers don't want to go home and mow their lawn.
Yeah.
Painters aren't going to go home and paint their house. I mean, he's an artist.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that's what he does for relaxation too. And I hope he never loses that.
Yeah, that's when he can sit down and just do something that he wants to, not something that someone's going to buy or someone's commission, just something that he really wants to do.
He spends the day painting buildings, then he goes home and paints peanut butter sandwiches and chickens like that.
I love that. I love the shirts too. I think the shirts are going to be big.
CFinley Art. What I found out, my computer wouldn't let me go to CFinleyart.com. It goes to CFinleyart like .square.com. But if you Google CFinley Art, it'll give you a link and you click on it, and it's got those shirts to buy. And I was ultra tempted.
The hot dog and the chicken, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
lots of other, obviously his art too. Lots of art, lots of UT stuff, baseball stuff, buildings, obviously, said the downtown thing, cool.
I mean, I love that in Maryville there is sort of an art scene, and there's a lot of places there just is not, and maybe it's just because we know several of the artists, but whether it be painting or drawing or music or whatever sort of art, I do feel like there's a growing community, and I think that's great. That's there's a lot of kids growing up, and they're probably thinking, well, how am I going to make a living doing this, or can I make a living doing this? And Chuck has obviously done it himself. It takes some doing and some guts, but
sorry, but my advice to young people would always be like, find something that you enjoy doing, try to make a living at it. And he did exactly that. I mean, I think that, that's cool that, it took him maybe 18 years to get back to making a living at it, but good for him.
Yeah. Well, I have an art. I was sort of thinking about this during the time with Chuck and didn't really want to throw it in there at that time, but I do have an uncle he paints in watercolor and has been doing it. He's been an artist ever since I remember, just a long time. But he does kind of similar to what Chuck likes to do. He's in Kansas, so he does a lot of prairie commissions and buffalo and old trucks in the middle of the prairie and farms and things like that. Really super talented. And when you can, just like Chuck, when they can make with water colors, the painting sort of feel like it's alive, like it's almost a picture, or a video even.
Yeah.
That's a talent that, man, you've got to do something with. Yeah.
When you mentioned that, I also thought of, he said that he thought outside the box on this one. I think it's on his, there's a New York City scene that is a little more grayscale, kind of like a dreary day in New York City almost. That's the way I saw it, but it's out there. If you go there, you can see that too, which is cool. Yeah. And you can buy it. I'm sure he'd like me to mention that.
Buy the print, right? Because
I think the original's gone, right? Yeah, that's what he said.
Good stuff. Good stuff out of Chuck Finley. Continued success to him, and
tying in the one of our other topics with that, because you kind of briefly touched on it, what reminded me of it. Thursdays in the city. The third Thursday that's the art.
Right.
He'll be out there, I'm sure, and I'm sure Pinky's out there too somewhere. But go downtown Maryville and walk around. It's pretty cool. You see a lot of these local art. Yeah,
it really is. And you kind of take this tour of downtown where, when you drive anywhere, it's way different than when you walk. When you can, slowly walk past a building and look inside or whatever. So, Molly and I have done that a couple times, and just, I don't know, really fun experience just to walk through. And it's just chill, and then you can go to the concert afterwards. It's a win-win-win-win.
Eat downtown, do all of that. Good place to be.
Good stuff. Well, we could talk about real estate. We could.
We have.
We could ask Michelle McCauley what's up.
Because she always has good information.
She really does. Why don't we ask
her to say?
Yeah. Big fans, Michelle. Great stuff once again.
Twice in this episode, by the way, if you're paying attention, we had the crowd with some applause.
Yeah, we did. I mean, the crowd's been on
They're getting into it.
They've been on their game. Let's see. Well, do we have anything else? Do you have anything in particular on?
No, there's some information. I want to look more into it. There's been big talk about this fair housing bill that they passed.
Right.
I looked into it a little bit. It's supposed to be making home buying easier. So good news for home buyers and me and you, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's the potential there to make a really big impact. I mean, and I think affordable housing is something that it's on a lot of people's mind, and anywhere you go, but especially here, where housing has jumped tremendously over the last 6 years, 5 years. So that's I think something that's on people's minds. So if it has the potential to help with affordable housing, I'm all for it.
Maybe lower the average age of the first-time home buyers down back out of the 40s again.
Yeah, really. We get that down into the 20s.
One step
Got
at a time.
ways to go, but yeah.
Hello, this is Michelle McCauley with Movement Mortgage, and I am bringing you this week's mortgage market update. Mortgage rates have moved slightly higher this week with an average 30-year fixed rate right around 6.55%. Rising treasury yields and ongoing inflation concerns are putting upward pressure on those rates. On the housing side, purchase activity has slowed, with mortgage applications dropping about 7% week over week, but refinance applications actually have increased as some homeowners are taking advantage of cashing out their equity in their homes. The bottom line is, if you're thinking about buying or refinancing, don't focus only on the headline rate. Explore your options, have a strategy. Even in a higher rate environment, there's still opportunities to save. I'm here to help. Call me at 865-806-6113.
Well, I guess that's a wrap on another episode.
That's right. Join us in 2 weeks for our next one.
Who will our next guest be?
What topics will we cover?
And what's new in the real estate market?
Well,
let's find out. Excellent.
thanks for listening to the Let's Be Blunt podcast. If you have questions or guest ideas, or if you'd like to sponsor a segment of our podcast, please send us an email at the Let's Be Blunt podcast @gmail.com.
I'm Brad Hepner.
And I'm Eric Rice.
And we call ourselves the Property Dads. As local realtors, we want you to know and love this community as much as we do. If you have questions about real estate, don't hesitate to call us at LeConte Realty at 865-268-4180. We'll be happy to help.